If you want to get promoted from senior manager to director, you need to stop speaking like an employee. After coaching over 200 executives to promotion and now helping Fortune 500 managers advance to director roles, I discovered one communication pattern that almost all stuck managers use that makes leadership completely overlook them for promotions. And that's when you speak like an employee instead of speaking like a leader. So in this video, I'm going to show you what that mistake is, the three specific language shifts that promoted managers use so that you can finally be taken seriously by executives and get that promotion. Because when you master these language patterns, you'll become part of the 1% who actually get promoted in your company. Shift one, lead with your recommendation. So, what is this massive communication mistake that's holding you back from getting promoted? Most managers give updates like employees. They start with all the background, walk through every detail, and then maybe, if there's time left, they get to what they think should happen next. But promoted managers do this exactly the opposite way. They lead with their recommendation first. Here's what I mean. Let's say your team misses a deadline. Most managers would say something like, well, the Smith project got delayed because we had resource conflicts, and then the vendor was late with deliverables, and Sarah was out sick for 3 days. So we're probably going to be about 2 weeks behind schedule. But a manager who gets promoted would say, I recommend we bring in a contractor for 2 weeks to hit the Smith deadline. This protects our Q4 revenue and keeps the client relationship intact. Here's why we got behind. You see the difference here? The promoted manager leads with the solution. They position themselves as someone who solves problems, not someone who just reports them. When you lead with your recommendation, executives see you as strategic. When you lead with problems and background, they see you as tactical or worse, an employee that has to be managed. Executives promote strategic thinkers, not tactical reporters. Before I continue with shifts 2 and 3, if you're serious about getting promoted in the next 6 to 12 months and want my help implementing these exact language patterns, plus the complete promotion system I've used with over 200 executives, click the first link in the description to book a free strategy session. But that's it, back to the video. Shift 2, speak in business impact, not tasks. Most managers talk about what they did. Promoted managers talk about what their work accomplished for the business. Here's a real example from one of my clients. She was stuck at senior manager for 3 years. She'd give updates like, this week I completed the user research, finished wireframes, and started the prototype development. That's task reporting. It sounds busy, but it doesn't sound valuable. After we worked together, she started saying, the user research revealed that we can increase conversion by 23% with 3 design changes. I've prototyped the solution that could generate an additional 2.3 million annually. I recommend we fast track this for Q1 implementation. Same work, completely different language. The first version makes her sound like a doer. The second version makes her sound like a business driver. She got promoted to director within 6 months. Here's the framework. Instead of saying, I completed X, say, X will deliver Y business result. Always connect your work to revenue, cost savings, efficiency gains, or risk reduction. When you speak in terms of business impact, executives stop seeing you as someone who executes tasks and start seeing you as someone who drives results. That's the language of leadership. Shift 3, own the solution, don't ask permission. The third language shift that separates promoted managers from stuck managers is ownership language versus permission seeking language. Most managers ask what they should do. Promoted managers state what they will do. I had a client who was brilliant, had great results, but couldn't understand why he kept getting passed over for director roles. Then I listened to him in meetings. He'd say things like, so, what do you think we should do about the budget shortfall? Or, would it be okay if we maybe tried a different approach? Or, I'm not sure, but do you think this might work? Every sentence was asking for permission or approval. After we worked together on this, he started saying, here's my plan to address the budget shortfall. I'll reallocate 15% from marketing to product development, which should close the gap by Q3. I'll need your support on the stakeholder communication. Notice the difference? He's not asking what to do. He's presenting his solution and stating what he needs to execute it. 6 months later, he was promoted to senior director. When you speak with ownership language, you sound like someone who can handle bigger responsibilities. When you use permission seeking language, you sound like someone who needs to be managed. And executives don't promote people they have to manage. They promote people they can rely on. Why this works. Now, you might be wondering, why do these three language shifts work so powerfully? Here's what I've learned from coaching over 3,000 hours with Fortune 500 executives. When promotion decisions are being made, executives aren't just evaluating your past performance, they're predicting your future performance at the next level. And they make that prediction based on how you communicate right now. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. I worked with a director at a global manufacturing company who was competing for a VP role. She had the best numbers on her team, but she kept getting passed over. The problem was, in leadership meetings, she would say things like, "My team delivered strong results this quarter," instead of, "My team delivered strong results this quarter, and that enabled me to deliver 15% revenue growth by reallocating resources and implementing new processes that I can scale across the division." See the difference? The first version only gives credit to her team. The second version shows her partnership with her team and that she understands how to drive results and scale solutions, exactly what a VP needs to do. Once she shifted her language to show partnership, ownership, business impact, and strategic thinking, she got the VP promotion within 4 months. Here's the psychology executives won't tell you. They're not just listening to your words, they're listening for evidence that you think like a leader at the next level. When you use employee language, reporting tasks, asking permission, claiming solo credit, or giving it all away, you're unconsciously telling them you're not ready for more responsibility. But when you use leadership language, owning solutions, speaking in business impact, leading with recommendations, you're demonstrating that you already think like someone at the next level. And that's when promotions happen fast. Here's your action plan to start using these language shifts immediately. First, take your next team update or leadership meeting and rewrite it using all three shifts. Lead with your recommendation, translate your work into business impact, and use ownership language instead of asking permission. For example, instead of saying, "The project is behind schedule because of resource constraints. What should we do?" Say, "I recommend we bring in two contractors to hit our deadline and protect the 500K revenue milestone. This investment of 15K saves us from client penalties and maintains our Q4 targets. I'll handle the vendor negotiations, have them onboarded by Friday." Recommendation first, business impact second, ownership language throughout. Practice this framework before your next meeting. You'll immediately notice how differently people respond to you. Now you have two options. You can take everything I've shown you in this video and try to figure out the promotion game yourself, or you can click the first link in the description, book a free 30-minute strategy session, and let me help you create your personalized promotion roadmap that gets you to director level in 6 to 12 months instead of waiting years.